A clickbait cockroach. That is the term circulating around the internet in the Christian community as of late. A clickbait cockroach. DAYSTAR. Who's their PR person over there? I just want to know. It's obviously not Steve Wilhite because he doesn't seem smart enough to come up with half the stuff that he said. Because you really have to be smart to be able to manipulate that way, and I just don't think that Steve Wilhite is smart like that. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth Davis. I am your host of the By Faith podcast, and in today's short episode, we're going to be discussing DAYSTAR once again. In this podcast, we do a lot of covering things going on in the church currently, and right now, one of those things is a cover-up. And I think that there are a lot of us on the internet that are tired of cover-ups happening in the church. I am definitely one of them. I know Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is one of them. I know Unction is one of them. Ohio for Freedom is another one. There are a lot of amazing people right now fighting for Jonathan and Susie Lamb, and it's sad to me that people on the internet are fighting for them and not their own family and former colleagues and coworkers. It's like, you guys are supposed to be a family here, and here we are being your family instead. And I am honored to be able to stand up for them and that people agree with me. And I've had so many new people come in and join my community of standing up for righteousness and the truth. And, on this podcast, I don't just talk about things going on in the church. I also talk about the Bible, and I study the Bible, and I wanted originally the By Faith podcast to be a Bible study-based podcast, but God has also added another segment into this podcast where we talk about just things that are wrong, things that are going on, things that need to be fixed or addressed, and it's kind of like current events in the church, right? And I also have a cat. He makes guest appearances a couple times in each video, it seems, and he's really interested in this fur coat that I have on, so I'm sure he'll be sticking around for the duration of the video. So let's get into the content. Steve Wilhite is apparently a man of good standing within the DAYSTAR company. At least that's what they portray him as, and someone who's been around for a long time. So he seems like he's pretty good at playing the game to keep his job and keep his money where it's supposed to be, where he wants it to be. I guess that's what you do when you're a lover of money. So in the video, he's a DAYSTAR executive, and his official title is the Senior Vice President of Affiliate Relations. So apparently because of his title, he has some sort of credibility, as they think he does. So the first part of the video, he completely slanders Jonathan, someone that it starts off, I've known him since he was a little boy, and immediately out of the gate is demeaning of Jonathan. And that alone makes me mad, because I'm like, my cat doesn't like it either. How can you insult man to man? How do you insult another man like that? That's crazy. And then he says that his work performance. So how does the Senior Vice President of Affiliate Relations get to review the performance of the Vice President? That doesn't make any sense. I understand, within a company and within the church, you have to have checks and balances and all that nonsense, but it's not really nonsense. It's supposed to be good. But in this situation, it's being used to manipulate and make false claims about Jonathan Lamb. Okay, so we have that, and then we talk about his schedule and how he never shows up. It's like Jonathan was the one fighting for his job, but they put stipulations on him that they wanted him to go against what the Word of God was saying in his convictions, which was not to condone Joni and Doug Weiss's marriage. Okay, so that makes him. So you're just going to start making things up about his schedule and how he doesn't show up? I don't believe him. I don't believe him at all. So he starts talking about Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson after he slanders Jonathan. It's only a 5-minute video, but he sure says a lot in that 5 minutes. And one of those things he says is that Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is a clickbait cockroach. Steve Wilhite said that Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is a clickbait cockroach. Okay. Let's talk about a clickbait, okay? I have been in social media for almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years in June. So no, I don't have 35 years of experience, and I haven't known Jonathan since he was a little boy. And I haven't known Laura. I don't know any of them. I've never met any of them. I've never met Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson. I think she seems like an incredible person. I would love to meet her. I'd be honored to meet her. She's my new mentor, like someone I really look up to online, and I see her videos, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I feel called to do. This is like, I want to join her and help her stand up for what's right. And this family and this company, this broadcasting network, is totally in the wrong. And so a clickbait, someone that gives clickbait is someone that like makes you click on the video, and then what, like, they title their video in a way where they make it sound like they're going to talk about something super controversial. And then when you click on it and you watch it, it's really not exactly as dramatic as the title made it sound. It'll be like, you have to know this. And then you click on the video and it's like, I had a bagel for breakfast. That's like, and I put avocado on it for the first time with some hot sauce. You know, they make it sound like it's this huge deal. And then when you watch it, it's really nothing special at all. It's intended to make it sound like there's drama within the video. Like, I can't believe my sister said this to me. And then you click on the video and it's like the two sisters sitting there cracking up at their inside joke that nobody understands. That's clickbait. Okay? A clickbait cockroach would be someone who not only do they make it sound dramatic, but when they start saying what the facts of the video are, they're making it up. So he's accusing Laura Lynn of using clickbait to lie to people, okay? Anytime I've watched her video, she always brings on guests that corroborate her story. She brings on people who have the evidence. She brings on witnesses, people who were literally there when certain things happened. She's brought on Jonathan and Susie. She has said that she will have Joni on there, and she even said she'd have Steve Wilhite on her show. But no, they don't want to. They got to turn their comments off. The only people they answer to are themselves. They won't address anything. They just sit there together on Joni's little table one time and talk about half the story or a quarter of the story that isn't even their story. It's Pete's story. It's not Joni's story. It's Pete's story. Pete is nowhere to be found. He does not speak up. He lets everybody speak for him. And yet you're going to sit there and say that Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is the one with the clickbait cockroaching. Okay, wow. That's so interesting because, in my opinion, you're deflecting. Sushi, you can't chew on this cord. Stop it. In my opinion, Steve, you're projecting, because what you do is DAYSTAR executive speaks out against misinformation. There's no misinformation. Everything is like, no, it's not been proven in the court of law, but you don't really need the court of law to see that this is what's going on and this is true. So it's so interesting to me that he calls Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson a clickbait cockroach, when anytime you go to DAYSTAR's video where they address what's going on, their comments are turned off. They don't allow people to comment on their videos. They don't, apparently Doug Weiss has shut down all of his social media. Pete has let everybody but himself speak for him. Pete has never even come forward and said, I'm the one that they're saying Pete is, and I'd like to clear my own name. Rachel Lamb gets on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it and starts spewing hate against her own family, including her innocent minor niece, about her medical information that was privately shared in a text message between her and Susie Lamb. And yet you're going to say Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is the clickbait cockroach. No. Y'all are projecting. Steve is projecting for everybody. He is literally doing the dirty work for this family. Steve, that's dirty. That is dirty what you are doing. I call you higher. You are probably better than that. Oh my goodness, these people, they see a contractor, they get scared, or they're like fearful, or they're totally deceived, or they don't care and they just want power and money. I mean, I feel like that's all it comes down to at this point. Like, what else could they be doing? How can you, like, see everything that's been presented and still sit there and say Pete is innocent? So then After he slanders Laura Lynn, he pulls up this graphic, and I'm going to try to screenshot it here. I don't know about you all, but when I was in elementary school, I was taught how to read a graph. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade. The first thing you have to do is get the data that you need. And then you select a scale. So you could do it by like 100, 200, 300, or you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. You have a different like pattern of numbers to measure whatever it is that you want to see on the graph. So when you're measuring this data on a graph with a scale, like that's the first thing that you're supposed to look at when you look at a graph. So it's interesting to me that they show this screenshot of her analytics, and you can barely see the scale. You can barely see what the data is. You'd have to zoom in on it, which I barely can. And I just want you to know that when you check analytics, you can set the scale. You can set and see, do I want to see my analytics from January to February, or do I want to see it from January to December? So you can set your time, and then you can see over time how your subscriber account has changed. And that's what they're trying to portray here in this. They want to show how Laura Lynn has lost subscribers. That's the narrative that they're trying to paint. But when you look closely at the graph, you will see that she has only lost 100 subscribers from September 2024 to October 2024. 100 subscribers is not a lot. She has a lot of subscribers. So to me, that's very misleading that they're going to sit there and have this graph of whatever they're trying to show and show that she's losing 100 subscribers, and then using that to try and say that she is using this DAYSTAR situation to get her subscriber count up. And I'm like, I don't really think like you would get that upset. Like as a YouTuber, if I lost 100 subscribers, and I have a pretty small channel. So before I started covering DAYSTAR stuff, I did not, like my subscriber count was just a very slow incline. So if I would have lost 100 subscribers, my first thought wasn't, oh, let me do DAYSTAR. I know that'll get my views up. In fact, I didn't think anybody was going to care. I'm 28 years old. I don't think people really care about my perspective, or at least I didn't think they would. But I also saw what was going on, and I'm like, this is just completely wrong. And I do have some sort of platform, and I do believe that Jonathan and Susie need to get justice for their daughter. I believe their daughter deserves that. I think that it's biblical that we try to do this and stand up for this poor little child. And so my first thought had nothing to do with my subscribers. And I know Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson would say the same thing. So Steve, you're just completely wrong. And I can't even see the numbers on your graph. You're misleading people, Steve, by putting up this graph that people can hardly see the numbers on. We can't see the scale. We can't see what you're measuring. We just see a red line going down in a month's time. And you have to look at so many factors whenever you're talking about analytics. Why am I losing 100 subscribers? What kind of content am I creating? Am I changing niches? Am I upsetting people that they don't like what I'm covering? Am I not posting and people are unsubscribing because I'm inactive? You know what I mean? There's so many different factors when it comes to losing subscribers. I've been on YouTube for almost 7 years, like I said, and if I lost 100 subscribers, I wouldn't get excited, but I wouldn't be thinking about, okay, what kind of controversial thing can I do to grow my platform? No, that's not what I think. I think I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and eventually I'll find my audience. That's what I think when I think about losing subscribers. And to try to paint Laura Lynn as someone that's doesn't even care about justice and is just doing this for herself, her content completely contradicts what they're trying to portray her as. And that's just so completely infuriating to me. To mislead people that way. And you're trying to say that Laura Lynn is the clickbait cockroach. Okay. To me, DAYSTAR is the clickbait cockroach. Steve Wilhite is the clickbait cockroach. Rachel Lamb is a clickbait cockroach. Those are the people that you need to be complaining about. Yourself, your company you work for, and your company's daughter. My light keeps dying. Come on, stay on for me. We got a couple more minutes. So that's really all I have to say. I'm very appalled at their, once again, tearing apart Jonathan and Susie. Laura Lynn, Tyler Thompson seems like an amazing person. I'm not happy about that. I mean, I'm sure they're going to say more about more people going forward, and I just don't think that this is okay. Sound off in the comments, okay? If you don't know what that means leave a comment and let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments. This is so crazy. I cannot believe that this is happening in our community. More people need to stand up for this. So if you have a voice, use it. Have a great day.